Session 127, 6th August 2022. Session 127, 6th August 2022. Quran, the Word of Allah, an elaborate translation by ex-Brigadier Mustansar Billah. We continue with Surah Saba, the 34th Surah of Quran, and with part 22, and begin from verse number 34 as well, verse number 34 of Surah Saba. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. We begin with the name of Allah, who is most gracious and tremendously merciful. وما أرسلنا في قرية من نذير إلا قال مترفوها إنا بما أرسلتم به كافرون. Verse 34, translation. And never have we sent a forewarner, messenger of God to any city, any people, but the affluent invariably refuted him, saying, we don't believe whatever has been sent through you. Saying, we don't believe whatever has been sent through you. وَقَالُوا نَانُ أَكْثَرُ أَمْوَالًا وَأَوْلَادًا وَمَا نَانُ بِمُعَذَّبِينَ 3:5. And those affluent people have invariably stated, we are greater, more powerful than you in wealth and children. This is because we are on the right, more dearer to God than you. The poor, weak, downtrodden people are those who have been given nothing by God. And they said, be rest assured, we are not going to be punished. And they said, be rest assured, we are not going to be punished. قُلْ إِنَّ رَبِّي يَبْسُطُ الرِّزْقَ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ وَيَقْدِرُ وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ 3:6. You say, affluence is not the measure of righteousness. My Lord enhances subsistence for whoever he deems fit, and gives to a measured scale to whoever he prefers in the fitness of things. But many a people, a majority, doesn't try to understand. But many a people, a majority, doesn't try to understand. وَمَا أَمْوَالُكُمْ وَلَا أَوْلَادُكُمْ بِالَّتِي تُقَرِّبُكُمْ عِنْدَ زُلْفَى إِلَّا مَنْ آمَنَ وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا فَأُولَٰئِكَ لَهُمْ جَزَاءُ الضِّعْفِ بِمَا عَمِلُوا وَهُمْ فِي الْغُرُفَاتِ آمِنُونَ 3:7. And make it clear, your affluence, wealth, and numerous children are not the things that elevate your status. These are too trivial to matter with God. Rather, he who believes and gives a pious performance, it is for them that they have twofold returns. 10 times or even more, they live in high palatial balconies. وَالَّذِينَ يَسْعُونَ فِي آيَاتِنَا مُعَاجِزِينَ أُولَٰئِكَ فِي الْعَذَابِ مُحْضَرُونَ 3:8. And as opposed to the faithful believers, the undisposed people who try to frustrate our manifestations, Quran and Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and dissuade people from following the Prophet, peace be upon him, those people would be brought shackled for punishment. Those people would be brought shackled for punishment. قل إن ربي يبسط الرزق لمن يشاء من عباده ويقدر له وما أنفقتم من شيء فهو يخلفه وهو خير الرازقين. 3:9. O believers, my Rabb, Lord, enhances sustenance for whosoever he deems fit from among his people, and to a measured scale to whoever he wills, it wills. It is not a measure of piety nor resultant of intelligence. And whatever you spend that God has given you in His way, He gives the returns, and He is the best of all those who sustain, and He is the best of all those who sustain. Excuse me. Excuse me, please. Yawma yashuruhum jamiyan summa yakulu lil malaikati ahulai ayyakum kanu yabudun. 40. And the day when God will assemble them all and ask the angels, did these peoples worship you? Similarly, all the demigods will be asked the same question. قالوا سبحانك أنت ولينا من دونهم بل كانوا يعبدون الجن جن أكثرهم بهم مؤمنون. 4:1. The angels would submit, O God, you are intrinsically beyond all aberrations, and none can be your associate. We never ask them to worship us. You are our master, and we are not with men at all. Rather, they actually worshipped the jinns, and most of them had faith in them. They believed what the devils put in their minds and hearts. They believed what the devils put in their minds and hearts. فَالْيَوْمَ لَا يَمْلِكُ بَعْضُكُمْ لِبَعْضٍ نَفْعًا وَلَا ضَرًّا وَنَقُولُ لِلَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا ذُوقُوا عَذَابَ النَّارِ الَّتِي كُنْتُمْ بِهِ تُكَذِّبُونَ. 4:2. You made devils are gods. Now see the falsehood of your venal behavior, dishonest, corrupt conduct. So today you see the reality that you and your demigods are helpless, cannot benefit each other. And we'll ask the disbelievers, mushrikeen, polytheists, sinful, have a taste of the fire of hell which you falsified. Have a taste of the fire of hell which you falsified. وَإِذَا تُتْلَى عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتُنَا بَيِّنَاتٍ قَالُوا مَا هَذَا إِلَّا رَجُلٌ يُرِيدُ أَنْ يَصُدَّكُمْ أَمَّا كَانَ يَعْبُدُ آبَاؤُكُمْ وَقَالُوا مَا هَذَا إِلَّا إِفْكٌ مُفْتَرًى وَقَالَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لِلْحَقِّ لَمَّا جَاءَهُمْ إِنْ هَذَا إِلَّا سِحْرٌ مُبِينٌ. 4:3. And when our verses are elucidated to them, they display effrontery, rudeness with shame, without shame, rudeness without shame, effrontery, saying, these are nothing, but a man just wants to block you from worshipping the gods which your forefathers have been worshipping. And they say, his Quran is nothing endorsed by God, but some false statements attributed to God. And there are other disbelievers who, having heard the irrefragable, irrefutable, convincing injunctions of Quran, the absolute truth, try to shrug it off and say, it is absolutely incantations, work of magic, and nothing more. وما آتيناهم من كتب يدرسونها وما أرسلنا إليهم قبلك من نذير. 4. We haven't given them some books which they read. All their heterogeneous ideological systems are preposterous, and we haven't sent them someone who forewarns them prior to you, whose teachings they must have adopted, to discard the teachings of the Prophet, peace be upon him. وَكَذَّبَ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ وَمَا بَلَغُوا مِعْشَارَ مَا آتَيْنَاهُمْ فَكَذَّبُوا رُسُلِي فَكَيْفَ كَانَ نَكِيرِ. 4-5. The pity is, they don't learn from the history of their predecessors, previous people. Else they'd have known that many a people heretofore had also refuted, disbelieved the message of God. And these people haven't reached 1/10 of their physical status, strength, wealth, etc., that we had bestowed them. Then they refuted, disbelieved any messengers. So how was it refuting me? They were blasted and plastered. So how was it refuting me? They were blasted and plastered. قُلْ إِنَّمَا أَعِظُكُمْ بِوَحْدَةٍ أَن تَقُومُوا لِلَّهِ مَثْنَىٰ وَفُرَادَىٰ ثُمَّ تَتَفَكَّرُوا مَا بِصَاحِبِهِم مِّن جَنَّةٍ إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا نَذِيرٌ وَلَكُمْ بَيْنَ يَدَيْ عَذَابٍ شَدِيدٍ. 4-6. You say, I have just one advice for you. Stand up in the name of God for the sake of God, as buddies, groups of two or all alone, to fight in the way of God. Then keep in mind that your greatest well-wisher, friend, was not mentally handicapped, that he promised you the reward of heaven, the Prophet, and he forewarns you those who disobey of a horrendous misery, and he forewarns you those who disobey of a horrendous misery. قُلْ مَا سَأَلْتُكُم مِّنْ أَجْرٍ فَهُوَ لَكُمْ إِنْ أَجْرِيَ إِلَّا عَلَى اللَّهِ وَهُوَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. 4-7. You, O gruesome people, it's in your eternal interest that I have been tasked by God to advise and warn you. If I have asked you for some returns, keep those with you. I just want you to believe me and be faithful believers. My reward is with the same God who has everything right before him. He knows, watches all the truth. My motives are all clearly before him. He knows, watches all my truth. My motives are all clearly before him. قُلْ إِنَّ رَبِّي يَقْذِفُ بِالْحَقِّ عَلَّامُ الْغُيُوبِ. 4-8. You say, in fact, my Rabb pours down to me the sublime truth, the noblest, the highest values for the subjection of the friendly sale. decadent belief ideologies, for only He is the knower of all hidden realities which the mankind misses till Allah reveals, discloses. Kul ja'al haqqa wa ma yubdiyul batilu wa ma yu'id. 4:9. O believers, rise. Take the life-saving religion ideology, the geodesic path, absolutely straight path to the people of the world. You say, the sublime truth, the faith of Allah, with the noblest, the highest values is here. It has come, and falsehood and false ideologies, secularism, etc., is not hard-wearing, cannot produce anything spiritually, emotionally constructive on a permanent basis. The systems remain in a flux, constantly changing evolutionary processes, solving a few problems, but creating another few. And at each stage, man thinks he is the modern man at the end of history. And at each stage, man thinks he is the modern man at the end of history. And false value systems cannot restore anything, bring back the spiritual solace, peace the mankind has lost. And false value systems cannot restore anything, cannot bring back the spiritual solace, peace the mankind has lost. Kul inni zalaltu fa innama azillu ala nafsi wa ihtadaitu fa bima yuhi ilayya rabbi innahu samiyun qareeb. 50. You say, if I fall off the track, am not adhering to the truth, it is to my own detriment, and so it is with you. You will be the loser avoiding the right path. You will be the loser avoiding the right path. And if I get on the right path, absolutely straight path of Allah, it is because of the revelations which my Rabb gives me, the Quran. Definitely, He listens everything. He attends to my prayers when I seek His guidance, to put me and keep me ever on the path He has chosen for the mankind. And He remains very close to me, and He remains very close to me. وَلَا تَرَى إِذْ فَزِيُّ فَلَا فَوْتُ وَأُخِذُ مِنْ مَكَانٍ قَرِيبٍ. 5:1. When they will be petrified, unable to think, move, or act, when they'll not be able to escape, and will be shackled, chained right in front, won't have to track or chase or arrest them. وَقَالُوا آمَنَّا بِهِ وَأَنَّى لَهُمْ تَنَاوُشُ مِنْ مَكَانٍ بَعِيدٍ. 5:2. And these Peter Pans, boyish, immature men, the Fizgigs with whom Islam has become apartheid, what they especially dislike would be the very people who would say, we believe it, the truth brought by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is the absolute truth. But now it's time-barred, too late. How can they reach out, grip what has been left far away? How can they reach out, grip what has been left far, far away? وَقَدْ كَفَرُوا بِهِ مِنْ قَبْلُ وَيَقْذِفُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ مِنْ مَكَانٍ بَعِيدٍ. 5:3. The hubris, overconfidence, arrogance which results in disaster was their hubris, overconfidence, arrogance which results in disaster was unmasked, and they had disbelieved, refuted it well before. That is the word of Allah, the teachings of the Prophet, peace be upon him. And without an authority, reasoning, logic, they were just shooting in the dark from a far off distance, promoting misconstrued, baseless, useless theories. They were shooting in the dark from a far off distance, promoting misconstrued, baseless, useless theories. وَجِيلَ بَيْنَهُمْ وَبَيْنَ مَا يَشْتَهُونَ كَمَا فَعِلَ بِأَشْيَاعِهِمْ مِنْ قَبْلُ إِنَّهُمْ كَانُوا فِي شَكٍّ مُرِيبٍ. And the last verse for today, 5:4. And they were blocked permanently from the achievement of their desires. And they were blocked permanently from the achievement of their desires. And this is precisely what was done by Allah with people, and this was precisely what was done by Allah with people who had followed their ways heretofore. And they were also haunted by the same evil desires which made them restless, were indeed involved in a misleading suspicion, That's all for today. Please pray for me. Shall meet, inshallah, be willing, day after tomorrow. Till then, Jazakallah, ex-Brigadier Mustansir Billah.